So I started. What time is it? There's like 3 minutes until the live begins. Till I'm gonna start. I don't know. I just decided to start. I promised someone earlier that I was gonna live stream. I did a little bit of research, a little bit of writing here and there. So we're gonna talk about understanding bullying, like not excusing a bully, but understanding a bully. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying I don't want people to use this against the bully. I just kind of want you to have an understanding of why a bully is how they are. It's not about I don't want you to like get yourself in a situation where you confront the bully about this stuff. Like obviously maybe confront the bully, but you got to understand it. It's honestly more safe just to like distance yourself as much as you can. But obviously, if stand up to him, if he's in your face, stand up to him. But stand up to the bully. You know what I mean? But just don't and do anything stupid. You know what I mean? Don't do anything stupid. Don't do anything that's gonna hurt. And I'll explain why. I'll explain why during the live. Just don't do anything stupid. Be smart about it. Because what I'm about to tell you is really gonna put you on, and you're gonna understand why a bully is how they are. And it's gonna be mind blowing. Right? You're gonna completely change your mind on like your outlook on why they're bullying you. If you have a bully. So like please just be safe because the information I'm about to give you is really going to help. So I'm doing this live because somebody earlier had said that they were getting bullied, and I gave them my advice and what I thought about it. So honestly, I want to come out live and like I did a little bit more research on like why a bully is, because I already kind of knew why a bully is how they are. I kind of already knew that, because I researched it, but I did a little bit more research on it. You know what I mean? A little bit here and there. So honestly, yeah, I just wanted to talk about it. We're gonna start in 1 minute. But it's a good topic. I'm glad that this person had mentioned it because it's something that should be talked about. Understanding, because man, you gotta understand people. As hard as it can be, it can be hard to understand people. I'm not gonna lie. But like a bully is something you gotta really understand because you don't know what that bully's actually going through. You gotta show some empathy because you don't know what that bully has seen. Or now I'm not saying to excuse him, but bullies do go through things. Bullies do go through things, and that's part of the reason why they're bullying. And I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that. Why a bully is, why like how a bully is, and why a bully is. So what time is it? Is it 8:30? Oh, it's 8:30. Okay. So the first thing about a bully is mainly reflecting their insecurities. Whether it be like low self esteem, or maybe it's the fear of looking weak, or jealousy, and feeling powerless. And it's really, oh, what's up, yo? I'm doing that video for you, bro. I'm doing that video for you. So honestly, low self esteem. Sometimes people like to reflect their insecurities, and it's unfortunate because you don't you got to deal with your insecurities. And these insecurities come from traumas. So really these bullies have these like traumas. They have these traumas, and they reflect their traumas onto other people because they don't know how to understand themselves. Really, they don't know how to control their emotions. And it's unfortunate that we are not training kids or people to deal with their emotions. And it can be hard at times. So the fear of looking weak too. Like a lot of people fear looking weak. Sometimes they misunderstand something, and maybe they think you're taking a shot at them. So they're trying to make you look weak, right? They're trying to make you feel a type of way. They're trying to make you feel like this. They're trying to make you feel like that because they feel like you made them feel a certain way, or maybe somebody else made them feel a certain way. So they're looking for an easy target. They're looking for an easy target. They see you. They see you as like, I say, there's another easy target. I'm gonna reflect my insecurities onto that person so the heat gets off of me. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, and that's really like a big thing. It's like it's a reflection of themselves. Being a bully is a reflection of themselves. And we can't be excusing these, but we can understand them. And I'm not saying like don't hurt their feelings because they're already hurt. You know what I mean? But sometimes you do gotta give them a taste of their own medicine. But you gotta understand them. You gotta understand why a bully is on how they are. They have a big fear of looking weak because the truth is like at home, right? There maybe their parents, they're maybe they got a brother or older sister or someone else in their life is bullying them. And it's like a toxic energy that spreads. This energy spreads, it goes here, it goes there, it goes there, and that's where you got to stop it. It has to stop with you, because if it doesn't stop with you, it's just going to keep spreading, and you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be that person. You know what I mean? You don't want to be that one. You don't want to be the bully. You want to be a good person. You got to be a good person. You got to spread the good energy. You got to be positive. You really got to be positive with yourself. As much as hard as it is to be a good person, you can't be the bully. You shouldn't go out like the bully. You gotta go out like a good person. You know what I mean? So, like, all it is just reflection. It's a reflection of themselves, and it's a reflection of traumas, and these traumas really need to be dealt with. And it's like, I honestly think in schools we should be like, kind of like, not just talking about bullying, but kind of like learning how to control our emotions in school. In school, like, they should be teaching the youngins how to control their emotions, because a lot of people have a hard time doing that. And people will throw medications at them instead. They'll go like, oh, here, take that pill, pop that pill, there you go. That will do with your emotions. But really, it's the best way to deal with your emotions is from within. So honestly, it's like, you just really got to deal with your emotions. Like, now, we got to understand them, though. You really got to understand them. You got to be empathetic, because these people go through a lot of stuff, and they just don't want to show it. They don't want to show their insecurities. Like I said from the start, it's all about their insecurities, and they got to deal with their insecurities. So, you know what I mean? And, a lot of time it's just like they're getting neglected at home, or they're getting neglected somewhere. They're not getting enough attention. Everybody deserves a little bit of a little bit of attention here and there. Everybody deserves attention. You know what I mean? Just not all the attention, but everybody should be like admired. Everybody should feel admired. You know what I mean? So that's a big thing too. It's like parents are neglecting the kid, or maybe it's their family or someone they're getting neglected at school. So that's a big thing about bullying. You know what I mean? And you know they're also, they're being bullied themselves. They're being bullied themselves. You know what I mean? So it's like, they're, like I said earlier, they're reflecting. You know what I mean? So the energy has been transferred into them, and now they want to blow it at someone else. So that's a big thing about bullies. A bully is only like, I'm gonna be saying that a lot. It's a reflection. It's a reflection of themselves, and it's sad. It's really sad, because we really just gotta like understand these people, and like kind of like find someone that could help them deal with what they're going through. You know what I mean? But yeah, sometimes it's violent households. Sometimes maybe somebody's abusing them, so they're getting abused, they're getting beat, they're getting beat down. So there's another reflection, right? So they're gonna take your lunch money or something, or maybe they're gonna take your school supplies. Maybe you have a nice hat, maybe you got a nice pair of shoes. They're gonna steal that because they feel like they need to be accepted in some type of way. Maybe they're poor, maybe they don't have it good. Sorry, maybe poor is not the right word, but maybe it's just like they're not financially stable at home, and their parents are like just don't have it like that, unfortunately. So it's like, it really is just like, it's really just a form of like them trying to cope with their problems, and it's not a good way to cope. You know what I mean? It's definitely not a good way to cope. Yeah, so it's like a big thing too. Is like some bullies, they're trying to be dominant, right? They're trying to be really dominant. It's all about dominance for bullies. It's all about dominance. That's a key thing about bullies, is it's all about dominance. And it's like, there's a time and place to be dominant, bro. But if you're like making someone feel so bad about themselves, you're making someone else feel insecure due to your insecurities, just so you can feel a little bit dominant, that is completely wrong, and it's out of the picture. It's disrespectful. The bullies disrespecting themselves, and they're disrespecting others. So it's not a good thing. You know what I mean? It's never good to bully. And sometimes they feel powerless. They might feel powerless at home. They feel powerless, so they're trying to find a source of power. So they look for easy targets. They look for easy targets, someone that they can push around, someone that they feel like, oh, look, that's someone I could take advantage of. I'm gonna push him around, see how he likes it, because I'm getting neglected at home, or I'm feeling this way, I'm feeling that way. So that's how they think. It's not, they don't intentionally think like that. It's just like an energy that's been put into them, and then we need to help pull that out. We need to help pull that out. You know what I mean? And you know everything I'm saying. You know they're so insecure to the fact that a bully's not gonna say. They're so insecure to this topic. They're so insecure about this topic that they're gonna make you look stupid because you're bringing up what is wrong with them, and you know that there's something wrong with them. You know what I mean? And if there's nothing going on at home, a lot of the time it is something going on at home. But if it's not going on at home, then there's probably some type of mental illness, and that's why they're behaving that way. Maybe they're bipolar. Maybe it's something else. You know, maybe it's a mental illness. But majority of the time, it's because something is going on at home, or somebody bullied them before, and they feel like that's a way to get validated and kind of like seek attention. You know, and it's like people do that stuff to like kind of seem cool, trying to be popular. And I'm trying to let you know, man, that's not a good way to like seem cool. You know what I mean? It's not a good way to like feel popular. It's not. It's honestly, who cares about fitting in really? Like who cares about fitting in? It's not about fitting in. It's honestly more about being yourself. Because when you be yourself, you're gonna pull in the right people. When you pull in the right people, you know those people are actually gonna love you. You know, it may not be the people you expected to be around or the people you want, but it's the people you need. You know, it's actually the people you truly need. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. It's like all it is like you know they want some social reward. They want a social reward. So what they're doing is they're teasing you because they want some form of laughter. They want to be popular, or they want to strike fear. You know, they feel like fear is a way to be respected. So they push fear into people. They try to make you fear them. And you know, it's like that's the wrong way to feel respected. Like look at everybody in history throughout the dawn of time. Everybody that's been feared, like they people a lot of people rather be feared than respected. To be honest, that's like the wrong way to go. Look through the dawn of time. People who are feared end up just like nobody likes them in the end. Nobody's like, oh, like when this person that's feared passes away, a lot of people are like, oh, thank God he's gone, bro. Now that's the wrong way to react, but that's how people react. You know what I mean? People act that way. Like when someone that was feared passes away. Now there's a difference between being respected and feared. You know what I mean? Respected means like the person genuinely actually likes you as a person, and they actually really like you just the way you are. They like you just the way you are. But being feared, they don't like you. They just fear you. So there's a big difference. There's a big difference in between being feared and respected. You know what I mean? So a lot of people got to understand that too. It's a common problem, and it's been happening since the dawn of time. People rather be feared than respected. Personally, I'd rather be respected because fear doesn't get you that far. You may have some type of power, but like, dude, at the end of the day, these people don't like you. These people don't like you because you're striking. They're only acting like they like you because you're putting fear into them. You're scaring them. So they have to be like buddy buddy. They have to act buddy buddy around you. You know what I mean? They have to be like, yeah, I'll be your friend because you're scaring them. You know, you're scaring them. So really, that's the wrong way to go. Like look at it, like all these people throughout the dawn of, you know, Xerxes. We could go down the list. Hitler, you know, all these people were feared. They weren't respected. Actually, you know, like some of these people, they may have had people that respected them. They may have had people that respected them, but most people are they're scared of them. They're scared of them, and it's a problem. You know, you don't want to be feared. You want to be respected. So that's a big thing there. You know, and a lot of the time too is like bullies act a certain way because they feel unheard, and they want to force their way in. You know, they want to, like I said, it's an attention thing really. So it's like they want to force their way in. So because they feel unheard, they don't feel like their voice is being heard. So they're gonna force their way into a conversation to put someone down because they want to be heard. And there's nothing wrong with feeling unheard, but there's better ways to make yourself be heard. You know, there's better ways. There's always better ways, and it's just crazy. It's diabolical how people will do things just to feel socially accepted, and it's not right. And it's also like a impulse issue, you know, and that's what I was saying like earlier. It could be something to do with like a mental illness. Like I said, it could be like compulsive behavior. You know what I mean? It could be like some type of mental illness. And a lot of mental illnesses come from traumas anyway. Like a lot of mental illnesses, like anger issues and stuff like that, it comes from traumas. Or sometimes it's also just like I'm not trying to be rude, but sometimes it's just not good parenting. So that's where a lot of it comes from too. Good parenting is a key thing in a bully, because if they, that's what I'm saying, is like a lot of the time it's coming from home. Like maybe they're not getting enough attention, so they feel neglected. So they're using maybe their strength or whatever to feel like they're seen. You know what I mean? What's up, dude? But yeah, we honestly, that's a big thing. So it's attention. They want attention. They want laughter. They feel like that's the way to be popular, and they feel like fear is a way to be respected, and they feel unheard. They feel powerless at home, or maybe they feel invisible. And a lot of the time too is like they just do this they want to feel significant, and everybody should really feel significant. Everybody should kind of feel a form of significance from another, you know what I mean? And it's like I know what it's like, I understand, like sometimes you're lonely, sometimes you feel lonely, so you want to force your way. People do that, you know what I mean? People, that's the way they handle situations, and it really isn't a good way to handle the situation, because it's gonna hurt you, it's gonna hurt you, and it's gonna backfire. But like I said, man, it's bad parenting, feeling neglected, being bullied themselves, and like violent households, and it's a shame. It's a shame, and I've seen this firsthand. Like I've moved around a lot of places. I've been to many different schools, and I've seen this. I've seen it happen to people. I've seen it happen to me. You know what I mean? So like I understand. I understand. You know what I mean? I understand. Like I see how people move. I've been around, and I see how people move. So like I understand these people, and I don't want to be anything like that, but I understand, and I really hope that they change their ways, and like really kind of see the bigger picture. Is like there's better ways of like feeling significant. You don't have to put someone down to feel significant. You don't have to feel like you have to hurt someone to feel significant. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying, is that there's better ways of feeling significant and feeling respected. Fear is not a form of respect. Fear, people, like I said, man, I'm gonna say this a lot, bro. Fear is not being respected. They're scared of you. They just want to come up, and like they're gonna act like your buddy because they're scared of you. They don't know anything about you. They're just gonna agree with you. They're gonna laugh at everything you do. They're gonna acknowledge everything you do because they're scared of you. So it's really a matter of like, would you rather be feared or respected? You know what I mean? So you got choices, you got options. And a good way to get respected is by kind of finding out what your gifts are, because you are a valued person. I'm gonna bring this back up. You are a valued person. Everybody has value. Everybody has gifts. Everybody has talents. And using your physical strength, or maybe it's your words, to hurt someone is definitely not the way to get respect. You know, they don't care about you. They don't care about you. You know what I mean? They don't care, that they don't give a damn about you. They just scared of you. So find a way to get respected. And you know what I mean? Respect is not given; it's earned. You know, so find a way to get respected. Uh, every human has to do that. Every human being. And it's unfortunate that a lot of human beings pick on people to feel respected. It's not right. It's not right. So really, just read between the lines. Read between the lines and like see what you can do. You know what I mean? Maybe you're good at drawing. Maybe you're a painter. Maybe you're a musician. Maybe you're a martial artist. Maybe you're a hockey player. Maybe you're a football player. Maybe you're an athlete. There's better ways of feeling respected and getting respect. There's better ways of getting respect and feeling respected and being significant. Being a significant person. And I'm saying you are a valuable person. Like these bullies, they're valuable. They're valuable. You know what I mean? They're very valuable, but you're losing value when you pick on someone. You know what I mean? Like I said, people don't care. People don't care about you. They scared of you. So honestly, it comes down to that. It's like, please choose respect over being feared. Choose being respected over being feared, and know that you're a valued person, and you don't have to chuck your pain at people. Please deal with your emotions. Just please deal with your emotions. And there's all types of help online. There's like, you can go there's Google. You can go to the hospital and talk to them about it. You could really call 811. 811. I believe that's in Canada. In Canada, you can call 811 and you can talk to them. There's always help for you. and like you got to drop your pride and your ego, because you don't want to push it, as much pain as this bully, or you might be feeling some type of pain. You don't want to spread that, and there's no excuses, man. You got to deal with your pain, bro. You got to deal with your pain. You got to deal with your emotions. Sometimes you have to run away. Maybe you got to go to a different city. Maybe you got to go somewhere else, maybe you got to do this. Maybe you got to do that, so really it comes down to just like respecting yourself, because if you respected yourself, you wouldn't be putting yourself in situations where you need to put someone down. Really, everybody should be trying to bring each other up. You know what I mean? So you just gotta bring each other. We gotta bring each other up. So, yeah. That honestly, like, that'll conclude. Like, I said what needed to be said. I did my research a little bit, and I hope you understood what we're like. I hope you got what you were looking for. Yeah. You know, 20 minutes, 20 minutes is talking about, just a sit down talking about bullying, Here, let me just go through it again. So bullying comes from insecurity, low self-esteem, fear of looking weak, jealousy, feeling powerless, and it's also like learned behavior. It's picked up behavior, right? So I'm gonna run through this again. It's picked up behavior. Sometimes it comes from parents, and sometimes they feel neglected. They feel neglected, right? Or they're being bullied themselves, or it's a violent household. It's a violent household. You know what I mean? And then they feel powerless. They feel unheard. They feel invisible. They want to feel significant. You know what I mean? And a lot of times they were hurt first, so they feel hurt, and I feel like that's a way to get validated in life, but it's not a good way to get validated. So please spread awareness. Whatever I just talked about. Like, I'm gonna save this live. I'm gonna save this live so you can go back and watch it. You know what I mean? But you know, just know it's like you got options. You don't have to bully people. You everybody has good in their heart, and there's better ways of feeling significant. There's better ways of getting attention. There's better ways of feeling valued. And like I said, you are a valued person. Everybody's valuable. Just know your value. You know what I mean? Every time you bully someone, you're losing value. So really, just learn to love yourself and work with the cards you've been dealt. Things will get better. And if you're a victim of being bullied, things will get better. Just like kind of take a step back. Try to avoid that person. Step up to him if you can. Maybe, you know what I mean. But don't ever become the bully yourself. You know what I mean. There's better ways of dealing with situations. Don't spread that behavior. Don't spread that behavior, because that behavior is not good. It's not good. There's better ways of handling situations, and you just gotta understand how this person feels and why they feel like that. And there's no excuses for the behavior, but now you understand. Now you got an understanding of why a bully is on how they are. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody who popped in. But yeah, thank you. This live will be saved. You guys can go check it out. But yeah, y'all take care. That was 23 minutes. I'm gonna be streaming every day. Yeah, if there's anything you feel like something needs to be talked about, just let me know in the comments. DM me. There's my Instagram is the same thing as my YouTube. So just go. Just let me know if there's something you feel like that needs to be talked about, and maybe you could tell me a story, and I could use that as a reference. You know what I mean? So with that being said, you guys take care. Have a good night. It is Saturday, so man, it's Ferda.